2 years ago, it was a normal Saturday evening, and I was heading to work. Some days I like to listen to podcasts on my way in, and some days I just like to have nothing playing. It just allows me to kind of de stress from the day and think clearly about my day's work ahead. As I was cruising along, I noticed a car travelling towards me in the opposite direction was starting to veer off onto my side of the road. And I remember thinking to myself, they must be on their phone, and expected this driver to move back, but within a fraction of a second, I was staring head on at the other vehicle and managed just to swerve my car out of the way and was sideswiped by that car. And I remember the force of being hit was so violent that I had gripped the steering wheel so tight I could feel my fingers digging into the material. It didn't feel real and felt like time had slowed down, and I was watching everything happen right in front of my eyes. Within seconds, I stopped and was facing in the opposite direction of what I was travelling in, and on the wrong side of the road. I put my hands on my legs and slowly touched each part of my legs. I was too scared to look down because I had so much adrenaline running through my body that I couldn't feel any pain. Luckily, I didn't have any physical injuries and was able to walk away from the accident. Turns out the other driver was an elderly lady who had fallen asleep at the wheel. This happened halfway through my debt journey and was a timely reminder on just how important having an emergency fund is. I was just lucky that I had 2 weeks leave available from work. Plus I had my starter emergency fund of $1,000. So realistically, the starter emergency fund was just enough for a week or so, but that is the purpose of the starter emergency fund. It's small enough that you can save it fast, but not big enough for you to feel comfortable with. This gives you that push to get that debt paid off. For years, like all 20-something years of my life that I've been working, I've been living paycheck to paycheck. And I know there are many others out there that are in the same position. If you are one of those people, welcome to my channel, and I'm so happy that you are here. Please drop a like and a subscribe if you find some value in my content. This is a safe space where there will be no judgment. I want people to come here for inspiration and motivation to better their life and financial situation. Once I started my debt-free journey, there was one thing that all the financial gurus said to do before paying off consumer debt, and that was to get a starter emergency fund set up. For me personally, I saved $1,000. So depending on your circumstances, you might want to save a little more or a little less. The $1,000 worked great, but just find out what works for you and your circumstances. And what we do with this money is put it aside into a savings account where we can easily access it if an emergency fund does come up. And no, buying new clothes or a surfboard is non-emergency. I had to tell myself this plenty of times. We are also not trying to grow this money or put it into the stock market to get some returns. This is purely as a small safety net while we pay off our debt. And the reason why the amount is only small is because we don't want you spending a year trying to save this starter emergency fund. But it's small enough of an amount to psychologically make you think that it's not enough. So it keeps you on your toes and active in paying down your debt. This for me was the best thing that happened. It allowed me to realize I can save money and also gave me motivation to sell unwanted items that I no longer felt gave me value, and I was able to pass it on to someone that actually did see value in them. Once you have paid off your debt, That's when we move on to saving our proper emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of living expenses. So I hope that helps you with your debt journey. Save that emergency fund as quickly as possible and let me know how you're going in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.